Let's go to Dave Sharma, the Liberal Senator for New South Wales, joining us live from Canberra. Well, no doubt he'll be so excited about being back in Parliament, ready for the budget tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, Dave. Are you surprised by those campaign tactics of the esteemed morally superior Teals and the husbands out there ripping out posters?
No, I'm not, to be honest. I saw similar stuff in Wentworth when I was running in 2022. I know the same sorts of tactics are being deployed against the Liberal candidate Roe Knox there this time. You know, it's unusual for the candidate themselves or the candidate's party to get, partner to get caught red-handed. But I've heard a lot of reports in Wentworth of the Liberal candidate's posters getting torn down, defaced, graffitied. I don't think the Teals have any more. Well, in fact, they have considerably less integrity when it comes to these things than the mainstream political parties.
Leave them there to explain their actions. Let's talk about the budget tomorrow. I said at the outset, I'm most concerned that we're looking at more spending right on the cusp of an election. There'll be money thrown around. The latest that we know about is extending these rebates for power prices. Labor's failed to cut power prices. They've pushed them further up. Now they're going to extend these rebates for another 6 months. Eventually, people are going to be confronted by the real increases in electricity. How do you counter that? Are the Coalition, for starters, going to support these rebates being extended?
Well, Peter Dutton has said that we will support this next phase of the rebate because I think we recognise that electricity prices are much higher than people are used to, and it's people are finding it hard to pay for them. But I mean, obviously, this is a band-aid solution to a problem that actually needs a more structural solution, and that's rising electricity prices. I mean, we've seen the regulators already say that they expect electricity prices to go up 8% next year, well above the pace of inflation. And it's a sign that Labor's renewables only strategy is not working. It's pushing up prices. It's not adding to reliability of supply. It's hurting manufacturing. It's hurting businesses that use electricity. It's hurting households. So if we are elected, we're going to pursue a balanced approach to the energy mix, which will, over time, bring down prices.
Over time. I'll come back to that in a moment. But first up, here's the Prime Minister today refusing to say that in this next term he'll get power prices down.
Well, what we've seen is that in 2024, power prices fell 25.2%. They would have fallen just 1.6% without rebates.
Yeah, so it's all about rebates now. How is the Coalition, if you win government, going to get prices down in the medium term?
Well, firstly, I think we will make sure that we get more gas into the grid. We want to tackle some of the obstacles to developing more gas fields, particularly in the southern states, New South Wales and Victoria, which are used for domestic supply, because the reality is that gas sets the marginal price for power generation, electricity generation. So the market is largely set by the cost of gas, and that has been at historic highs in Australia. Obviously, we are open to extending the life of existing, including coal-fired power plants. I notice, New South Wales and Victorian Labor governments are already reaching this realisation that they cannot pull these big assets out of the grid and expect that there will be no impact on prices. And then, of course, we want to pursue nuclear power as part of a balanced energy mix, zero emissions nuclear power over time. So, look, it'll be threefold, but I also don't want to pretend to you that these problems will be changed overnight. I mean, they're quite deep-seated now under Labor, and there will be a fair bit of work to do to address what's been rampant inflation in electricity prices.
Yeah, there's no doubt it'll take a while. Even just bringing on gas will take a while. Do you think that you could actually get prices stabilising or going downwards within a year or within the first term?
Look, I'm not going to be so bold to make a commitment like that, Chris, on air. Certainly it's our intention to do everything we can to put downwards pressure on prices, but there are obviously other factors in the market that will help, or that will determine those prices. So all I can say is we're going to pursue a policy that's more focused on reliability and affordability than Labor's policy, which is focused largely on ideology and international commitments.
Just one question, a million miles away from the budget and out of left field. You might have seen the The Instagram influencer I showed at the top of the program, a young woman, Sabrina Alam, she's saying that it was Muslim traders working with Indigenous cultures that got this country started and that the colonisers have just destroyed the joint. I mean, how worried are you about these sorts of views being permeated in our society? Presumably some people believe this stuff.
Look, I think it's a very divisive message to be spreading. I mean, yes, there was early contact between Muslim traders, predominantly from Indonesia, and the inhabitants in northern Australia, just as there was contact from Dutch explorers and others in our pre-colonial history. But I don't think you don't need, in pointing out that fact, to somehow discredit, the British settlement of Australia, because I think if you look around you, with all its imperfections and with no doubt some regrets along the way, we've built a pretty good country on the whole that many people want to move to and make their home in. And I don't think we need to be going around trying to discredit that history and trying to create some sort of picture of a false utopia or a false parallel universe, which I think would never have existed.
Spot on. Thanks for joining us, Dave. I appreciate it.